Every year, millions of dollars are being transferred from the hearts of those looking for love into the bank accounts of scammers hoping to take advantage. Police say they're constantly receiving reports from people who've been scammed on dating websites, lured in by the criminals. They're advising people to be cautious of any approaches online where something might seem amiss. For more on this, let's go live now to private investigator Julia Hartley Moore. Julia, thanks so much for your time tonight. Firstly, how common are these online romance scams?
Incredibly common. And I've got to say, we've noticed a rise in them. I don't know whether, I think it must be due to COVID, perhaps people being locked inside. But they are really, really common.
Okay, can you tell us what are some of the examples that you've heard of and how much money are people having taken from them?
Oh, look, we've had cases where, obviously both men and women have been taken for hundreds of thousands of dollars. So it's really quite tragic. And it's interesting that some of the people that are the victims of these scams are in their 70s and 80s.
Okay, so there's not really a typical, or is there a typical victim for this?
Not really, not really. And some of them are not romantic. They're very, very adverse and just scamming people. But most of them there is a romantic twist.
Okay. So how do people spot these scammers? How do you know if you've been taken for a ride?
Well, look, honestly, I think firstly people have got to be very realistic about themselves. So if there's a big age difference, really, really think about the reason why someone so much younger is coming after you or showing interest in you. You've got to use common sense. I think that's the main thing. But look, if someone asks you for money, that is what this is all about. So when you meet someone online or you actually don't know who you're talking to, you need to be very, very wary because it won't be long before they start asking you for money. And that is the biggest red flag. And that's the thing you've got to actually then you really need to shut it down.
Okay, but so I guess the inclination is to maybe just give them a little bit at the start and it won't amount to much. Is that a trap as well then?
It kind of is. That's what it's the old, what does it use, a sprat to catch a mackerel or whatever the saying is. But yes, it's always a little bit, but usually there's always some, sob story, there's some family tragedy. You'll find that they'll probably say that they are quite wealthy, but they're working away overseas. Perhaps they're a doctor, a surgeon, or they're on an oil rig, or they're somewhere sort of far away. And some tragedy has happened to them, a family problem, and they need some help, some immediate help. And they aren't in a position to get anything where they are. So that's a very common thread.
A good sign maybe to get a private investigator involved like yourself. Julia, thanks so much for your time tonight.